One day after the Department of Justice released a scathing report on the Cleveland Police Department's use of excessive and unnecessary force, the family of Tamir Rice filed a lawsuit against the police officers and the city. Channel 3's Mike O'Mara has a copy of the lawsuit. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening. This lawsuit goes after the two police officers involved in the death of Tamir, but then broadens the scope to include the city of Cleveland and the police department. And it cites the very same problems itemized by the Attorney General yesterday: excessive force, poor training, and a horrible track record of shooting first and asking questions later. In that video from the rec center camera, we see Tamir Rice waving the replica gun around, pointing it at people walking in the park. The lawsuit says those actions did not deserve the death sentence. Young boys playing with replica guns are commonplace in America, and police are expected to approach them safely, not shoot them dead within 2 seconds. The suit names both officers, Lohman and Garmbach, and demands punitive damages, saying they confronted Tamir in a terrifying manner, used deadly force on him, and failed to secure timely medical assistance. Tamir lay on the ground bleeding for several minutes before anybody tried to help the 12-year-old boy. The lawyers for Tamir's family go on to claim that the city of Cleveland has a policy, practice, and custom of using excessive force on African-American citizens. Those very same things were part of the Attorney General's scathing report on the Cleveland Police Department yesterday.
There is reasonable cause to believe that the Cleveland Division of Public Police engages in a pattern and practice of using excessive force.
Civil rights attorneys like Subodh Chandra see a failure at the top of the Cleveland Police Department.
At some point, the mayor needs to realize that this report is an indictment of the people who are supposed to hold other people accountable.
Cleveland City Councilman Zach Reed agrees.
So I'm hoping that the Justice Department comes in and just lowers the boom.
Well, this lawsuit could lower the boom, as the councilman suggests, on the police department. But, you know, the real issue here is that the 12-year-old, we got to keep in mind, had his hand on what looked like a real gun. It looked like the real thing. And a jury could decide that his death was absolutely a tragedy, but that the police officers acted properly when faced with what they thought was a deadly threat. Of course, Chris, this case could always settle before it even goes to a jury.
Right, and there are a lot of things to consider in that case. But in the lawsuit, does the family mention anything about money, how much they're asking for?
Nothing there. They're just, they have the option to just say to the jury, we think you should award whatever is fair, and that could be in the millions.